Today, we're going to be talking about getting the most out of a project management software. This has been a massively requested topic, and I am so excited to bring this to you. Now, a project management software is a must. Okay, here's what we're going to cover today: what type of businesses need to use one. We're going to talk about which software is the best for you to use, and how to know if you should switch or stay on yours. Okay. And then what features are an absolute must. Okay. Now, if you have a lot of unfinished projects, or maybe somebody on your team seems to have a lot of things on his or her plate not done, right? So this is not just about your team, this could be you, right? But maybe you're getting behind or you're getting confused on priorities, or balls are being dropped, or you're getting bombarded with notifications and text and emails and calls about projects, and it's hard to go back and you can't even reference what's going on. Okay. Now, if any of those sound familiar, it can honestly be solved by a project management software. Okay. Every business should have one. It doesn't matter what industry you're in. It doesn't matter how long you've been in business or how big your team is. Like, I wish I would have been using one of these as a solo entrepreneur just to keep my thoughts together. Okay. Now let's talk about your options. Okay. Everybody always wants to know, Stacy, what are you using? Okay. Before I tell you and before I give you options, okay, I really want you to listen, because I am actually not suggesting some of you switch to my software. Okay. So I personally am using I shouldn't say personally, I am using in my business Monday.com. And I do love it. And I'm not looking for other software. Okay. But it's possible that you have something different and you shouldn't be looking either. Okay. So someone will DM me and say, oh, you should try this. It's so much better. Right. But you have to understand that unless your software doesn't have the capability of something you actually need, right? So when somebody says, I've got a better option, I'll say, well, what does yours do that mine doesn't? And they either A, don't know, they just love their software, right? Or B, they list a bunch of things we either can already do or we don't need. So do not let somebody's certainty of how much they love something cause you to switch. You still need to do your own due diligence. Okay. Now, I am positive you need a project management software. Like, that statement to me feels like a fact, not a thought, right? Now, it's possible the one you already have is good enough. So here's what I want you to look for in a good project management software. First, condensed and simplified. Okay. This is my biggest pet peeve when I hear people with all the softwares. So when people tell me, they're like, well, we use Slack for communication, we use Asana for project management, and then we use Process Street or like Trainual for systems. I'm like, what? Why are you using three things to do one, like something one thing can do, right? Why can't your project management software do all three? Okay. So we use ours for communication, tracking all projects and tasks. Okay. And creating and housing all of our systems. Okay. Now, FYI, we share all of the details of what this looks like inside of Well Oiled Operations Mastery. Some of you know you need to get in there just for this. So we're waiting for you when you're ready. Okay. So, couple problems with having multiple softwares. Okay. Three softwares is three monthly subscriptions you'll keep forever. Okay. Do the math right now on those three softwares. Okay. Because people always go, oh, Monday's expensive. I'm like, well, first of all, hold up. How many softwares am I combining into one compared to you? Right. And then do the math from now on for the next 10 years. What are you going to pay with three softwares? A lot of money. I mean, I plan to be in business for the next 30 years. When I'm doing math, I'm doing math times like 20 or 30. Okay. Now, here's another problem. Your team has to check and manage three different places. So that's not good, right? And then switching back and forth, it's not necessary. It is costing you not just money in those subscriptions, but it's costing you time in the back and forth and the back and forth. And hey, I slacked you. It's like, oh, I was in Asana. Oh, it's like, why can't it just all be together? Okay. Number two, pick a big name that won't disappear. Now you might think, what? What do you mean disappear? I will never forget. I had a client who was using a software. It was kind of like a version of Kajabi. Okay. So Kajabi right now is where we have all of our online videos, all of that stuff, right? And I remember a client said, oh, I'm not using Kajabi. I have a way cheaper software that I'm using, and it's called this. I'm like, oh, I've never heard of it. And then all of a sudden we're working together. And then one day she says, the software went under. They gave us no notice. We have to basically transfer everything over to another software and let all of our users know, which is a big headache, right? And she had to literally transfer everything. You might be thinking, how could that happen? Well, when you use a random software that is not doing well and they decide to shut down, they can't even sell it, right? Holy cow, what a huge time and money suck transferring everything over. So always go with a bigger name. And now you can't look at a company and go, oh, they'll never close. We can't predict that. But you definitely can glance and say, do I think they're going to be here a while? Like, is this somebody that's doing well? Okay. So I only buy softwares that I believe are sticking around. Okay. Now, number 3, something user friendly. So I will say a few years ago, we heard from several new employees. We have like a just an assessment we do when they come in. And a few people said that learning Monday.com was one of the hardest parts of the entire onboarding process. We're like, whoa, hold up. Do we need to switch? Like, this is not good. Okay. Now, my team and I that had been using it, we loved it. And we were shocked they said it wasn't user friendly because we think it is very user friendly. Okay. But what happened was we think like just because we think it's user friendly doesn't mean we were supporting them, teaching them how to use it. And there is a learning curve with all new software. I mean, remember the first time you ever got an iPhone? Like, how long did it take us to learn how to use it? Right? Just your new phone in general. It takes some time. So now we've created a few videos and trainings on how to use the project management software. And ever since then, we haven't heard that complaint. So I want to make sure it's user friendly, but don't let people on your team say, oh, this isn't very user friendly. It's like, but are you training them? Do they have great videos on YouTube or things like that for you to learn how to use it? A lot of the ways we learned how to use Monday.com was going to Monday.com on YouTube. And sometimes it wasn't even Monday's videos. It was somebody who uses Monday who wanted to show it off, right? Okay. So my favorite features that are a must. Okay. So first, I don't recommend switching because I think switching any software can be a nightmare. I do recommend switching if you feel that, oh, mine don't do these things and this could cost me. Okay. So, number 1, different customizable statuses to be able to see where the project is currently at. If you cannot label a status like working on it, done, stuck, assigned, all the things. And again, we show you all of this inside of Well Oiled. If you can't label, I would never stay with that project management. I'm recording this on what day is it? Tuesday. I'm recording this on a Tuesday, and I could right now go into my software. I could glance at all of the projects for this week and see exactly where everybody on my team is, what they've completed, what they're working on, where they got stuck, what they've assigned. Like I can see everything. Okay. So that's huge. Next, automations when a status changes, right? And then when the status changes, it automatically notifies somebody, hey, you're up next, right? So maybe I record this podcast and I go in and I say podcast recorded, right? And then it notifies Kent to like kick off the next stage. All right. That is a must because automations save us so much time, right? So much money because I'm not paying people to do these little tedious things. Okay. Next, our weekly task battery. This is huge. So we can see what percentage of projects are complete for the week. So my team is usually around like 90% or more every single week. So we don't have a lot of unfinished projects because we either complete them or we move them to next week. Okay. So I'm going to just talk about this for just a second. So every day we have a daily huddle on our team. And the fact that we can say, all right, guys, it's Thursday and we only have 20% of our projects completed. Tomorrow's Friday. Where are we at? Who needs help? Is anybody stuck? Are we going to get these done? Like, is everybody just having a big Friday work day and we're cruising through? Or are we going to have a week where we didn't get, like, we rarely get under 90%. So it's like, just fill us in. And then usually people are like, no, I've got it planned. I'm good because we have set the expectation, right? But it keeps us on the pulse to be able to say, hey, Bella, I've noticed you got quite a few things done and we only have a few hours left on Friday. What's happening, right? So it just lets you help you inspect what you expect, we always say, right? Okay. So, most popular, people want to know which ones should I check out? Okay, so here's what I would recommend. Okay. I recommend looking into ClickUp. I've heard a lot of good things about ClickUp. Monday, 100%. Trello, I think Trello's probably not as advanced. I will say this. I have heard I've not heard many very like I would say 7 figures and up using Trello. It feels like Trello is a great place to start, but it doesn't feel like a lot of people have stayed with Trello. That's just from my opinion, like with my friends. Okay. Another one would be Airtable. And Asana, I didn't throw on here, but you could check out Asana too. The only reason I don't love Asana is because it's like, and then you're in Slack, and then it's like, it just feels like a lot to me. Okay. The other ones, I would say ClickUp Monday and Airtable seem the most advanced. Okay. And the only one I've used is Monday. Okay. Now, when you use it properly, you can start to expect, okay, a couple things. Clear communication around project progress. This is huge, huge. More completed projects. When we started to do this, our productivity in our company skyrocketed. Okay. It also was associated by at the time, our highest revenue and profitability in that quarter. So when we implemented this, we had the craziest 90 days. I do not think it was a coincidence. Okay. Projects completed on time or even early because it helps with accountability and people seeing the deadlines. I believe for sure less things will slip through the cracks. I rarely go, wait, I thought I talked about this. Is anybody doing that? That doesn't happen anymore. That has happened in the past, but because of the way we have it set up, that does not happen. Okay. And I think just overall team productivity is going to increase. Okay. Now, hopefully you've heard enough to say, I need one. The next question is, do you have the right one? Are you using it to its fullest capabilities? Okay. Now, I will say right now, I am not using Monday.com to its fullest capabilities. I know I'm not. There's so many features I can't keep up. But what I mean by that is it is an asset, right? I always tell people like, is this an expense or is this a revenue generator? Can I justify it? Monday.com for us is 100% a revenue generator. Okay, for sure, hands down, a revenue generator. Could I be making it even better? Yes, it's just not a priority right now, right? But our team is really well oiled, hence our name, right? And we aren't having problems with dropping balls and things slipping through the cracks. If you are having those problems, this is a concern. Okay, we've got to get you out of that specifically. Now, if you want to see, I have a short video on how it's basically me using my project management software and showing how I help prioritize and delegate some tasks. Okay. If you want to see that video, I think it's just a 5-minute quick video. Comment the word priority or DM me on Instagram the word priority, and I will get that over to you. Okay. So, with that said, if you want to see more details, you want to hear more about project management, you want to go way deeper, this is all inside of Well Oiled Operations. We're giving you some of our Monday boards. We export them into something called the CSV file where you can literally grab that and upload it into any project management software you have. So when we talk about routines, projects, our weekly to-dos, the batteries, that is all inside of Well Oiled Operations. Okay. So I want to make sure you are aware of that. Bottom line, the biggest takeaway from today, you need a project management software. You need to make sure you have the right one, and you need to start using it effectively with your team. Okay. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I hope you got some inspiration to either go get it or start using it better. All right. Have a phenomenal rest of your week. We will see you soon. Bye.